Hey guys, it's Tamara Bennett from Southern Adornments Decor. Today we're going to be doing something a little different. We're not using acrylic paints. We're going to be using watercolors. I have this beautiful watercolor set from Artistro. I've linked it down in the video description for you. I've had this for probably a year, maybe more, and I've tinkered with it from time to time, but I haven't really spent much time with it. And you know what has been catching my attention a lot lately on TikTok? Watercolor painting videos. Something about those. It's mesmerizing because it's a completely different way and style of painting than what I'm used to. And so I'm like, I really want to learn more about that. I want to try and get better at that. So I tinkered around yesterday and I played with some watercolors. I even printed out one of our door hanger templates that says sunshine is on my mind. And I messed around with it. So it didn't turn out too terrible awful. And then on this side, I watched a TikTok video and tried to emulate what she was doing, which was making these little whimsical watermelons, which turned out okay. So I'm gonna use the back side of this to test out some colors today. And what we're gonna be doing is we're gonna be painting a postcard using the Hello Pops design. This is a door hanger design you can get in our shop in template or wood blank form. So if you're not a watercolor painter, you want to paint with acrylic paints, you can paint this design with acrylic paints using our template or our wood blank. But what I did was I took the template and I downloaded it. I grabbed the JPEG image, so not the PNGs, or sorry, not the PDFs that are sized to like door hanger sizes, just the JPEG, the black and white JPEG. And I put that into Canva. And in Canva, I created like a blank flyer. And on that blank flyer, I just drew a gray, hold on, I got a picture I can probably upload because it's hard to explain this and for you to really visualize it. I put it in my stories as well. Some of you may have seen it. But I did a gray rectangle because I wanted to be able to print this on my postcard, but I wanted to make sure that it turned out like straight and not crooked. Okay, I thought I could upload photos here, but I'm not finding my photos, so never mind. So essentially, on a piece of paper, I printed out a gray rectangle that was this size, and then that was my template. After I did that, I pulled up my little hello in Canva, and I sized it to fit perfectly inside that gray square, and then I printed it on top of the actual postcard by taping the postcard to the original piece of paper and running it through the printer. So I didn't run it through the printer like this. I taped it to a regular size sheet of paper on top of that gray square and ran it through again. And so then it came out perfectly. So this is a 4x6 postcard. It is actually made from watercolor paper. If you don't have watercolor paper and you want to try out watercolors, just get some cardstock. That's what I used yesterday. It's not perfect, but it is thick enough that it'll let you to play around on it. Or you might have a mixed media pad that you've been practicing your acrylic paints on. That works as well. If you want to get some watercolor postcards though, I did put the link to where Artistro has some of those in a pack you can buy, I think for $10. It's like 30 postcards. And on the other side, this is just a piece of watercolor paper that I cut into postcard. But on theirs, the other side has like a little like lines for the address, a little space for the stamp. So it looks like a true postcard. Hey, Debbie. Hey, Elizabeth. Hello, Joanne. Welcome, Wanda. Tammy says you need to do a Canva tutorial like you did with Procreate. Yeah, I didn't think about that until just now, but I probably should have. Hold on. I'm also live over here on TikTok, and my battery on my phone is already trying to go dead, even though it said it had 50-something%, but it's like a really, really old phone. So y'all may have to bear with me a moment while I hook something up. Did
the hairspray work?
I don't know yet. We're fixing to find out. One thing that I'm troubleshooting with this project is that when you print something out on an inkjet printer and you start to watercolor over it, sometimes the ink will bleed. And so I had that problem a little bit yesterday when I was practicing. So I'm testing something today. I used hairspray and hairsprayed over this before I watercolor on it. Hopefully it still watercolors okay. We will see. Hey, Michelle. She said, hope everybody's having a good day. I hope you are too. I went to the hair salon this morning. Got my blonde touched up, and I'm very blonde today. So if I'm blinding you, I apologize.
Elizabeth Douglas agrees with Tammy.
What did Tammy say? About the Canva tutorial? Mm-hmm. It's really simple. But yeah, look in my stories, because in my stories today, I showed you how I did that, and that breaks it down a little better for you. Hey, Margarita. Okay, let me change my camera angle here so you guys can see what I'm working with. Again, I'm using the Artistro watercolor set. It's got 48 colors. Oh, first of all, I should probably tell you what this set came with, because I was quite impressed. It came with this little watercolor brush that you can add water into. So I can just squeeze this little thing right here and it will drip water down into the brush, and I can just use it. So I'll demonstrate that in a minute. It came with this little cover sheet that shows you what colors they all are. Came with a pencil, an eraser, a paintbrush, a little sponge thingy, and a whole lot of colors, to include some metallics and some neons.
Did it come with a sticker?
It did come with a sticker. Would you like the sticker?
I do like
it. It says,
like
I'm
stickers.
creative. What's your superpower? And it's got an adorable little raccoon with a rainbow tail on it.
Hey, everybody could use a good sticker.
Michael loves stickers. Okay, the other sheet, which I have not done yet, and it came with a little pack of watercolor paper in 5x8. So there's 10 sheets in here. So, oh, and this little tray where you can kind of like mix colors on. So it came with quite a lot of little things. And I think it's $25 on Amazon. And I think there's a $2 off coupon.
Is there a link?
Yes, there is a link. I put it up in the video description for you guys today.
That's what Judy had asked.
Yep. Hey, Emmy. Okay, so I've got water in this little thing. I'm just going to kind of squeeze the nib a little bit to get the tip a little wet. And then I'm going to go over here to my watercolors, and I'm going to start with this teal. So it's hard to tell that that's teal, but because I have my little thing up here, it tells me this is Viridian. That's the name of it. And I'm going to pick up some of that, and you can really tell once you have loaded it on that tip. And let me just show you how far this stuff goes before you, like, it already is picking up quite a bit, and I haven't even barely gotten any on there. So if you want it more watered down than that, you just squeeze this little tip to pump more water in it, and it makes it much more watery. I feel like such a little kid when I'm doing this, because when I was little, I used to have one of those little like 12-pack sets of, I think that's what this little tray is here for too. You can kind of like water it down in the tray a little better by squeezing water into it. But when I was little, I had watercolor sets, and they were like the Crayola ones that there's only like 12 colors, and they were all the little circle sets. Did y'all have those? And I would sit and watercolor. I think I did coloring book pages. Did you do much of that, Michael? We're about to find out if my hairspray trick worked.
Yeah, I did, but I would do it a little bit on that real thin paper that I told you about, that I would trace on.
Mm-hmm.
And then whenever it would dry, it would cause it to be kind of look old, because it'd be kind of crinkly.
My hairspray trick didn't work. It started like I just tested it by going back and forth on that H right there, and it does start to bleed a little bit. So that is a little bit of the downside, I guess. If anybody has a trick for fixing that, I'm all ears. I did try the other day putting like clear sealer over it, but then I realized that makes the watercolor paper almost like waterproof, and that's not what you want. You want it to be able to absorb the paints.
I wonder if you could go over it with kind of an oil-based marker, because oil and water doesn't mix.
I hate oil-based anything.
I know you do. Holly said, I'm obsessed with watercolors now. I think it's becoming trendy.
I think it is too. I've been seeing it on TikTok all the time, and it makes me want to get into it more and more. And I don't know much about it. So I think what you're supposed to do is kind of paint in layers and kind of dry it. And so I'm going to try that, because I have a tendency to just keep adding paint, and then it muddies all the color together. And part of the beauty of watercolor is that it looks like it's layered sort of with color.
Deb Swainer?
Sure.
Said, could you paint first and then print the hello?
Yes, you could, but you would have to modify the template in a way that deletes the letters and prints just the shape of the popsicles. I thought about using graphite paper and tracing it on here, But then I was like, well, I don't want to see the pencil lines. I'd almost rather know, like, it be obvious that it was printed out and watercolored than it looked like pencil lines underneath. So I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. So here's my.
Holly also said that she even joined a paid watercolor group. She's learned so much how different it is from acrylic.
Yes, it's very different. And I have a tendency to want to give stuff like full coverage. I have a hard time pulling back with how much paint I'm putting on.
And then Robin said, wet on wet blurs, more wet on dry gives you more detail.
Mm-hmm.
And then Norma said that you could paint the letters with a sealer first.
Lori, that's the exact same struggle I'm having. She said, I've been doing so much watercolor lately. That was Amy. She said, I've just got to remember it's not meant to be super saturated like paint. Yeah, that's the part I'm struggling with as well. So I may not teach you anything today. You may just be entertained by my learning to watercolor. But hopefully, if you guys are inspired to go out and like paint and create and try new things, then my mission is accomplished.
Amy did say it was a good idea of using a door hanger template.
Yeah. Okay, so when you want to change out your brush color, I don't know if this is the right way to do this, but I've been squeezing water through the end of this brush and just dabbing it on a paper towel till it comes out clear. So the brush does look a little stained looking when I'm done with it, but for the most part, it's clean. I may come back over this and add another color, like another shade of blue, to see if this creates like a little bit of a interesting look. Because so far I've only used the color Viridian. What if we used the color Lake Blue? It's like a really light blue. Let's see what this looks like. Need a little more of it. And maybe a little bit of cobalt blue too. That's kind of cool looking. Water it down even more. I'm just going to put little touches of it in. I don't want it to overpower the other color.
Lori said it's like anything else. You just got to play around till you find what works for you.
Yep. And I've been watching lots of videos and learning different techniques. There's even like a dry brushing technique for watercolor. Let me see if I can hold it up here and y'all can see a little bit. There we go. I feel like that more clearly represents what it looks like to me in real life, whereas what it looks like in the overhead camera. Sometimes it blurs it out a little, like you can't see the detail.
Amy said that she loves the combo of green and blue.
Thank you. The second popsicle, whoops, this was supposed to be a reddish popsicle. I did it in the wrong order. So this next one we're going to do with the reddish color. Let's see. It's kind of an orangey red. So let me swatch some of this and see if this color looks right. That's about right. I might mix in a little bit more of something lighter with that, but this one's called Orange Red. I'm going to grab some of that.
Robin said you can also lift color with a paper towel or damp, clean brush for highlights.
Yes, I saw that technique on TikTok as well yesterday. Okay, and I'm going to pick up a little bit of this brighter orange.
Now, have you done any watercoloring on door hangers?
Yeah, one time. If you guys remember a while back, we did an angel with spackled wings. And on the spackle wings, we did a little bit of watercolor to kind of tint the spackle another color. Okay, this is looking, I'm getting the wrong color here. I started mixing orange with it, and then I realized I don't really necessarily want it to be orange. I want it to be more red. So I'm going to go back and pull in a little bit of red. Kind of mixing a color here. Bear with me. Okay, see what that looks like.
I would almost think that if you sealed the wood and somehow closed off the pores a little bit, but it still accepted the watercolor, that would help it to not just completely disperse.
Yeah, maybe. As far as the painting around the black letters, I'm just being careful not to put a ton of water right on top of that area and just kind of dab it in.
Lori Harris said that she taught her granddaughters 6 and 10, but they are much better than her at it than her now.
That's cool that they kept up with it and got even better at it. Ooh, that was very saturated. So now I'm adding in a little bit of this color called rose red. It's just a reddish tint. I have a tendency to like get it too opaque though. I don't add enough water and then I'm like, oh, that's too much. Definitely learning here.
I like the white. Did you intentionally leave the white in there?
That's the other trick with watercolor. You're supposed to leave areas white so that it looks painterly. I guess I don't know.
Looks, I mean, from
and
the
so
camera,
I intentionally
I'm watching it from the camera.
I meant to do that on the blue one and I forgot to, but I meant to intentionally leave like a little highlight. It's hard because I'm so used to full coverage painting everything.
It looks.
But you have to kind of leave it. Okay, let me dry this and see how it looks. Tammy says, I'm really missing out not having TikTok. I think I need to open an account today. Tammy, a lot of things that are on TikTok, you can also watch them on Instagram Reels or Facebook Reels, but there's a big difference in the algorithm. So TikTok is a faster learning, more intelligent algorithm than Facebook and Instagram. So if you start watching watercoloring videos on TikTok, it's going to instantly learn that that's what you want to see and going to start showing you more of that quickly. Whereas on Facebook, it could take days or weeks of you liking those kind of videos and whatnot. I feel like it's a little behind.
Amy Iverson says she loves your shirt.
Oh, thank you. This shirt is from Cotton Chaos. I put the link for it in the video description because I knew somebody would say something about it. It's brand new. It's one of their new releases from this past week. I really, really like it. It says faith over fear.
And Emily Hunter said Casey Woodfin Hope is a great watercolor artist.
My good friend, Miss Casey. Yep. She's actually got like a watercolor workshop coming up. So if y'all are wanting to learn this, I probably need to go sign up for it too. I think they're going to be doing bookmarks or something like that, and it's free.
Has she been at the event?
Mm-hmm. She's the one with the really dark curly hair. Yep,
okay,
she teaches hand lettering.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, what's the next one color going to be? It's going to be yellow. I'm going to try to start with a really, really light yellow and build up. So let's see what this looks like.
Now, with yellow being a lighter color, do you still leave, you know, how like the little white marker?
Yes, I need to, yeah. I'm going to kind of draw around it because I have a tendency to just go overboard and add too much.
I'll go with Charlie. Make sure she knows to keep it in.
Charlie's got a little friend over and they've been swimming and playing. They just came in for lunch. Michael's going to make sure they're not getting rowdy in there. Alex Kincaid is also a good teacher of watercolors. I don't know if I know her. I'll have to look her up.
In relation to Thomas Kincaid?
Yeah, is she kin to Thomas Kincaid? Okay, here's what we got so far. One thing that I did learn about watercolors while watching TikTok was that you can do splatter paint, which I was excited about because y'all know me, I love me some splatter paint.
It's easier to clean up.
Yeah, and it's easier to clean up with watercolor.
I will say the only thing that, like water-based stains, you can get a bunch of different colors, but when it comes to sealing them, it's, especially for outside use, it's harder to get something that really, works pretty good.
Yeah.
Because most of your seals out there are oil-based, and they'll kind of yellow it or kind of make it look dirty.
Whoops, I almost forgot to leave an area white there. I went for a purple next.
Diane said she isn't related to Thomas Kincaid.
She probably has to answer that question on every video she does. Like, no, I'm not.
I only knew Thomas Kincaid because he has some really good looking puzzles.
Yeah, your mother was big into Thomas Kincaid there for a while too. Big fan.
She told me how to say her name last time. I can't.
Una?
Una said that she's painted for 40 plus years and she's never tried watercolors. She really likes making them.
I feel like it's really simple with this little watercolor brush because I can easily control how much water I'm pumping into it and have on it by squeezing this and then dabbing it off on a paper towel. So it feels like I have a lot of control over it.
Laura said that she loves Casey. That's who got her started in with watercolors and her grandkids.
Yeah.
She'd draw the pictures with permanent marker, then let them paint them. It's their favorite. I think Chris said she would just draw it with permanent marker.
Yeah. I got that a little too dark for my liking. That's not what I meant to do. I guess you can pick it up though, can't you?
That's somebody
said you could. That kind of lightens it a little. There's also a technique where if you take just a wet brush,
yeah, she said
you're supposed to be able to lift the paint, like wet it again. And lift. That sort of worked. I'll get better at this. I just got to dedicate some time to it.
That's usually it's a matter of just sitting down and trying stuff and taking the time to try it.
Doesn't look terrible.
Oh, it looks good.
I really want to paint over that white streak though. I'm having a hard time leaving it there. I'm like, it looks messed up. Okay, the O is green. So I'm going to go for, we might try the leaf green first. It's a really, really bright, like lime green.
Lori said the permanent marker doesn't bleed and that makes it easy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I know that that's always a problem. Like whenever you print something off and then you go to highlight it, some highlighters will.
Yeah, they cause it to bleed. I did that the other day on something and I was like, man, not what I meant to happen. I think Charlie would really get into this if she would, practice it a little bit.
Give her time. She's getting better at drawing.
Yeah. I'm going to pick up another green now and see what that looks like layered on.
See, I never did freehand draw growing up, and I kind of wish I would have more. I always just did that little light table.
Like tracing.
And would trace and then color the...
iron it first and it won't bleed.
Yeah.
I saw where somebody said something about heat, and I tried my heat gun, but maybe that doesn't get hot enough.
So do you just put the iron straight onto it?
I guess.
Maybe you put a paper towel over the top of it first.
Ooh, that's a lot. Hold on. That was a lot more green than I meant to go for.
That looks like a lime popsicle.
Yep.
Those are my favorite.
You always liked sour things.
Mm-hmm.
I bought some new popsicles at Kroger the other day that are real fruit popsicles. And there's a lime one that they have that's really good.
So Diana said cover it with parchment paper and then iron it.
Okay. I'll try that next time. Should have just called you last night when I was trying to figure all this out. I was testing different things and I was Googling, and I think I even asked ChatGPT for the answer, and it said heat seal, but I didn't quite do it. I feel like I got better from the H all the way over to the O. I got better at my technique. I don't know. I think the E, though, is probably my favorite, and maybe because it has a couple different colors.
Lori said that she was thinking sour apple, and yeah, either way, sour apple or lime, either one of them's good. And then Tammy asked, will it clean up like acrylic painting by using a baby wipe?
Probably better than acrylic painting. A little easier. Add a little orange to this one. I feel like it needs a little more
pop.
pop, or maybe this lemon ochre color. I feel like it needs a little bit of something for depth. I'm like, what was it I liked about that E right there? And I think it's because I did it in layers and I did different colors. So I feel like I need more variation in color in a couple of these. So I may take this purple and did a different shade of purple and add a little bit more.
Sandy's just logging in. She said she loves the colors.
Thank you. We're just playing. Testing it out and playing. Okay, I need a color for the little sticks. There's this raw ochre color that I think might work. Should I leave a highlight on the sticks as well?
Mm. Wanda said she loves the color. She's going to have to try this.
It's fun. I feel like a little kid again. I mean, like I said, I did a lot of watercoloring when I was little. And when you're little, you don't like sit and criticize yourself like I'm doing right now and pick apart all the things you should have done. You just play and you have fun. And I'm having fun doing it now. So maybe.
Is that why? Just because it kind of takes you back to being a little kid? Or?
Probably. I think because it's so different than what I do for a living that it's taking me back to being a kid. Yeah. I'm going to take a streak of that darker brown and put that over on the right side of each little stick to kind of make them look, ooh, that made them look dimensional. That's cute. Okay. Should we add some splatters?
I mean, you're not going to be happy unless you do.
He knows me pretty well. Hey, Marie. She said Becca likes using the templates to color too. So many possibilities. Yeah, I looked through our summer collection of templates to find one, and it was this one and the Sunshine on My Mind that I thought both of these would be good postcard designs, because you could send that one to somebody that's like a friend that you're thinking about. You could send this one to anybody, you know, that you wanted to say hello to. What if we do splatter paint with like a really, really like light blue?
Yeah, no, I struggle with that. Lori said that, and the other thing hard for me was it's okay to go outside the lines. And like, no, I can't. I still struggle with that.
Okay, I don't know if I'm doing this right, so I'm going to just let this water just like drip. And I'm guessing maybe it's like this. Because that's kind of how I was doing it yesterday, and it worked out pretty good doing it that way. You like load it up with color. Squeeze a little bit of water down into the tip. Those are pretty big. I need to figure out how to do like little dots. And if you don't want them on your popsicle, dab them up before they dry.
Can you just use like a fan?
That's kind of cute.
A fan brush and actually get water?
That's probably. Let's try it, shall we?
You're welcome.
That's what you're here for.
Yep.
Maybe some yellow. I was trying to think of a color that wouldn't be like really bold. Let me rinse this out. Got blue all in it. Try it with a small regular round, somebody said.
Yeah.
Oh, there's no water in that.
Is that
This is not going, yeah, that's not going to work. It's picking up too much. Small, regular round. Do what, Michael?
I just didn't know that brush, if that was one that I got you. The fork brush.
Oh, no, it wasn't. Okay, picking up yellow again. I'm going to put a little bit of water here in my palette. See how this works. That does feel a little bit more like I have a tiny bit more control over it, but I need more water.
Lori said splatters make everything more fun.
They do.
Always makes me think of Pollock.
Jackson Pollock?
Yep.
The one artist you learned about in art appreciation class. the day you were awake for that class. Who knew you should have stayed awake, that your wife was going to go in at the time when we weren't married, but you didn't know your wife was going to be an
Pink
artist
splat.
one day.
Well, at the time, you didn't know you were going to be an artist.
It's true. Okay.
I think pink would be a good splatter.
You think?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Whoop. I just knocked my toppers off. Oh, well. Okay. Pink is this one, magenta. So I squirted some water into my little thing here, and I'm just swirling around on top of the pigment. Thank you.
And then Robin said, try tapping the brush with your finger versus your finger with the brush.
Okay.
Hope that makes sense.
Thank you. It's such a tiny little difference, but it does make a difference. I was like, why is it not working? This is why it's best for me to come on here and try it out and learn, because so many of you have done this sort of stuff before and you know the tricks. So you share them with me and I learn. So I'm really just using you guys as my tutor today. Okay. I'm going to pick up a couple of these little dots that kind of got crazy and took over the popsicles.
And Missy Williams asked, where did you get the watercolor paints?
The watercolor paints are from Amazon. They are Artistro paints. And I think the one on Amazon, the tin is like a purple color instead of pink. I think they may have retired the pink tin, but it's the same set. And it comes with this little watercolor brush that I'm using. It comes with a sample pack of the watercolor paper. There's one more thing we're going to do to this. So, and then it also comes with this little tray that I use to mix the colors and all the things. Comes with a swatch sheet. Let's dry this. It looks so fun now, very cheery. Oops. Got to dry all those paint splatters. What questions do you guys have? If any of you guys want to get notified next time I go live, just comment alert and it will send a notification to your Facebook Messenger if you're watching on Facebook. And it'll ask you if you want to be notified next time I'm live. I go live again on Friday for Friday Fab 5. I'm sure these watercolors will be something I'll talk about on Friday as well. Last Friday, we talked about a bunch of stuff from the kitchen. We talked about a cheese grater, a food processor, a cookie recipe, and what else did we do? It was the broccoli, cheese, and rice recipe.
That was good.
That was good.
Something to use half cauliflower rice.
Yeah. I told them I snuck it in there so the kids would get more, and I would get more vegetables.
I like it better.
Okay. One more thing. Y'all remember these? I shared about them on a Friday Fab 5 a couple of weeks ago. I thought we might play around with adding some little metallic details. Let me close this. Some little metallic details to our postcard. This is a gravy acrylic marker. It's an extra fine tip. Let me make sure I've got the right color before I start drawing on here. I did make a, there we go.
Oh, that's what that sticker means.
What?
I call it grabby.
Grabby, gravy, I don't know.
Grabie. Is that it? This sticker.
Yeah. I thought it would be fun to kind of just add some little metallic touches with these acrylic paint pens. It's very subtle. You guys might not even be able to see it on camera, but it just adds a little bit of a metallic shine to each of these little popsicles. So I'm going to put one for each color on there. Do I have a yellow? I think I have a chartreuse. Chartreuse?
Sure.
Maybe. Let me try a different one. That's more green. Here we go. It's kind of a golden chartreuse sort of color. And I'm just doing like a little squiggle and then kind of like a little line around the edge of the popsicle. Now purple. A little squiggle and a line. And now green. Missy says, love this. Thank you, Missy. Okay, and then like a tan color for the popsicles. Oh, that's rose gold. That's not tan. Wrong one. This is kind of a tan gold. So whoever I send this postcard to, when they pick it up, they'll be able to go, ooh, and they'll be able to see the little shimmer. Let me see if I can hold it like this for y'all. You can see it on the, yeah, when I hold it different directions, you can really see it. It's pretty. All right, you guys, I hope you enjoyed this quick little live today showing you how to use watercolors on a door hanger template. We used watercolor paper and just played around with our Artistro 48 color paint set. Again, I linked these down in the video description. I linked the markers I just used, and I linked some watercolor postcards. If you're not sure if you want the watercolor postcards yet, this does come with 10 pieces of watercolor paper that you can use, and I just cut one down into postcard size. So grab some, get to playing with them. I think they're on sale on Amazon right now, and there's a $2 coupon. So grab that. All right, y'all. Don't forget to hit the share and the like button. I appreciate you being here. If you want to be notified next time I go live, comment alert, and you can grab the links to all the things in the video description. See you next time.